Answering questions is an important part of a presentation. It's so critical to building credibility, engagement, and knowledge that I recommend you don't save it for the end of the presentation when people are tired or ready to move on. Invite questions throughout or before your conclusion and close so that you can have a productive and constructive dialogue with your audience. But no matter when you open up to questions, you'll need to know how to handle them. Here are some tips for handling questions that are informational or speculative. Please check out my other video for tips for addressing challenging or hostile questions. Determine what kind of question this is. Not all questions are the same, and you want to listen for both the content of the question and the goal of the asker. Some questions are informational. They're seeking additional data or facts, timing, budget, etc. Examples include questions like, when is the plant inspection scheduled for? Or how many salespeople will you be training in Q3? Other questions are speculative, asking you to reflect beyond the facts and include your opinion. Examples of speculative questions include, how do you think that your technology will change over the next 10 years? Or what new regulations are likely to impact our industry in the coming months? You might also face some hostile questions, hopefully not very often, the goals of which include allowing the questioner to express his or her opinions or emotions in an aggressive or maybe passive-aggressive way, giving them an opportunity to show off their knowledge or experience at the expense of the speaker, and sometimes simply embarrassing the speaker. Examples of these include, don't you think you should have considered all stakeholder groups before you put this plan into action? Or, isn't this ad campaign just another misguided attempt to attract millennials? We'll talk about those kinds of questions in a separate video. Once you've heard the question, paraphrase it for the rest of the audience. A paraphrase has several benefits. It ensures that all members of the audience actually hear the question, and this is particularly important if the questioner is in the front row or speaks in a soft voice. It allows you to confirm that you understood the question. The questioner should indicate yes or no that you got it or didn't get it after you paraphrase. It might diffuse any hostility the questioner might have towards you, since you both will have to agree that you at the very least understand the question, and it buys you a little bit of time while you try to figure out the answer. Align your answer with the kind of question being asked. If the question is informational, provide the information. What if you don't know the answer to the question? It's okay to say, I don't know. You can then assure the questioner that you'll get back to them with a follow-up response as soon as possible. And then quickly steer the focus back to a point you do know and know well. If the question calls for you to speculate, don't guess. Reframe or abstain. You should acknowledge aloud that you've been asked to speculate. So it sounds like you've been asking me to speculate on where the industry is heading, is that right? And that you're doing so based on your analysis of the past and the present and not your knowledge of the future. So you might say, while none of us can know the future for sure, based on past and current trends, I could speculate that. If you can't reasonably speculate, or you feel like the risk of getting it wrong is too high or could cause damage down the road, abstain from speculating. Use the opportunity to reinforce a key point or message instead. You might say, I can't speculate on where the industry is heading, but what I can tell you is that we have a tremendous opportunity right now to shape our future direction, as I mentioned in my presentation, and then reinforce your key message. Don't miss an opportunity to show what you know, to invite other perspectives, and to truly engage your audience by mastering Q&A.